Ernie Lawson, Jerome Long stick out as guys who have done a great job in there defensively. I think all the offensive linemen, I think Alec Johnson, he's a guy that we think has a great future for us. I think Nick Imbernati, and I think Mike Matamua, you know, and just offhand, you know, guys who have done some good things. I think our work ethic's been really good as a team. You know, we tested them once before they left for Christmas vacation, which is way too long, to be honest with you. And then when they came back, they had some parameters they had to meet, and I'd say 2/3 of the team did a good job, and 1/3 of them paid some consequences for not doing a good job. So I think it's a learning process, and I think, you know, we're making the gains, but we're not where we need to be.
When you say pay consequences, what do you mean?
You get to do a little bit extra. And it's always good when people let you do extra.
Any major philosophical shifts coming in terms of what you guys do on the other side of the ball? You know, throwing triple option all of a sudden?
No, we're not going to become a spread team or a midline option team. I think, you know, the two-back attack, what we went with out of split backs or flat backs, whatever you want to call them, at the end of the year, I think that gave us something offensively. In fact, I think it helped us a little bit rushing the ball. So there's some of those things we're looking at more with flat backs and with those two backs back there. And I think when you look at, you know, our backs and how to utilize Brandon Sullivan a little more in a fullback role, but not just being a lead blocker, but letting him run the football more out of that. And you don't see that very often unless you're watching the NFL, and even that has not been as big for the NFL.
That was my next question, was Sully moving him to that fullback. He played a lot at the end of last year. Any other major position shifts for players? Any guys going from defense to offense?
Well, Josh O'Brien's going to move over to tight end. Andrew Preston is going to play the Aztec position instead of an outside linebacker. We, again, you go through all your evaluations during the course after a season. You look at your tape and you look at your cut-ups, and Andrew is a guy who can be a playmaker, you know, and putting him on one side as the outside rusher or outside defender, you get a chance to make half the plays. Putting him more inside in that Aztec, kind of like Urlacher played at New Mexico, because he can run well enough, and he's a physical guy. I think that's going to help us defensively.
Coach, how much of last year's spring ball was the installation of an attitude and your work ethic, and maybe how much can this year's spring ball be more the installation of the finer points of offense and defense?
I think last year's spring ball, because most of it's active, and you know, we had 8 weeks of winter conditioning where we went 8 weeks and 5 days a week, basically 3 days at 6 a.m. with different mat drills and things that build a competitiveness and build a toughness. And you know, we tried to progress as much as you could into the schemes, both offensively and defensively. And I think we're ahead of the game that way. I think our guys learned an awful lot during the season about the attention to the details and the fine points of both sides of the ball. So I think we're ahead of the game, but it's still, you know, you've got to keep ingraining the philosophy and the competitiveness and the mentality that we need to have.